Someone in our community asked me a question last week that really stopped me cold for a moment. They said, Sanghamitra, why does leadership sometimes feel so lonely, even when everyone around you looks up to you? And honestly, I felt that. Because for all the talks about collaborations and connections, there's a quiet truth no one admits out loud. And that is, the smarter you are, the lonelier leadership feels. Welcome back to the Strategy Spark podcast. This is a Spark Short, your bite sized reflection on the human side of strategy, leadership, and the future of work. If you haven't subscribed it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and Spotify. It helps the algorithm. Coming back to the smart leader, I think everybody loves a smart leader. The one with all the answers, directions, and clarity when the room is actually spinning. And the paradox is the smarter people think you are, the fewer questions they ask you. That's the truth. Because they assume that you might have already figured it out, right? That admiration, it turns slowly into isolation. I've seen this happen in product teams, startups, and nonprofits alike. The PM who used to brainstorm with everyone suddenly now becomes the final approver and not the collaborator. That's how loneliness starts to begin. Not because people leave you, but because they stop challenging you. And this is not arrogance, it's exhaustion. It's what happens when thinking becomes a performance, right? So, when you are labeled the smart one, the cognitive load skyrockets. Every question, every crisis, every decision finds its way to your desk. And what happens to your emotional support? Well, that quietly disappears. You don't get to say, I don't know. You don't get to pause and say, this is hard. Because your credibility, your identity is built on knowing. In AI terms, it's like running a high performance model on low compute power. It performs, but at a massively energy cost. That is why smart leaders often burn out not from overwork, but from under connection. And you know what the irony is? Smart leaders often surround themselves with other smart people, but they rarely talk very deeply. That's really my observation. They compare outputs, not their inner worlds. Things like, I built this, I achieved that, I optimized this process. Sure, but they never almost discuss, like, I feel unseen, I'm unsure, I don't know what's next. They never discuss this. And that's create a silence. That silence, that's the loneliness. Because intelligence without, vulnerability is like isolation in disguise. So smart leaders don't need more tools. I think they need more mirrors. Yeah. Let me show you something which I call a smart leader's loop. You can see this, the loop somewhat works from admiration to expectation to isolation to burned out and then reinvention. Yes, this loop actually continues. You're admired for your clarity, the admiration creates pressure, the pressure isolates you, isolation burns you out eventually, and then, if you are lucky, you reinvent yourself with humility. So AI can actually help you think faster, decide better, optimize everything, but it can't sit in silence with you, right? It can't remind you that being right is not the same as being real. If this extremely feels familiar to you, here are 3 simple practices to stay human in leadership. First, ask, don't answer. Go into one meeting a week with the goal of only asking questions, because curiosity is connection. Second, share unfinished thoughts. Yes, I said it. Vulnerability is actually bandwidth, guys. The more rough ideas you share, the more permission others have to join you. right? And third, find your no agenda space. Every smart leader needs at least one place where they are not the smartest. Whether it's a peer circle, a coach, or a creative outlet, that, that will keep you humble, you know? Because when intelligence becomes collective, leadership becomes lighter. Very few people actually get that, but that is the truth. We are living in a time where intelligence, human and artificial both, is multiplying very fast. But connection hasn't caught up yet. Maybe leadership today isn't about being the smartest in the room. It's about being the one who knows how to listen, how to slow down, and how to build collective intelligence. I think because the smartest leaders aren't lonely, they are surrounded by people who help them stay human. This is the Strategy Spark podcast. I'm Sanghamitra, and this was your Spark Shot for the day. Thank you for tuning in.